Okay.
Did you know that according to Google, Facebook has 2.85 billion monthly users? We all know about the benefits of Facebook, but what about the downsides of Facebook? I grew up without Facebook. It only came around when I was in middle school. And through my research, I found some interesting information that I'd like to share. Today, I'm going to go over the downsides of Facebook, how to manage your Facebook usage, and hopefully improve your daily life as a result of it. So we all know that Facebook connects us with friends and family, but in some users it's causing a dependency or even an addiction. According to Ryan Tracy in the Journal of Behavioral Addictions in 2014, multiple studies in 2011 reported that Facebook addicts were more inclined to use Facebook for social interaction, passing time, entertainment, companionship, and communication. Is that so different from the way that we use Facebook currently? Ryan Tracy's article goes on to say that Facebook addicts were using Facebook as a, quote, escape. It doesn't elaborate on whether this term escape was an escape from boredom or an escape from life in general. The other issues that face Facebook currently are online validation, echo chambers, and censorship. So, have you ever posted something on Facebook and had it get more likes than you expected? Did you try to post again and see if you could get more likes, or maybe you did a similar activity and made a post about it? That's an example of online validation and its ability to validate your behavior because of the attention from other people. And this becomes very concerning when you realize that there are high schoolers, there are younger children that are exposed to this at such a young age. It's causing a lot of psychological damage we don't even know about yet. Then it goes on to, Facebook has a ton of profiles, advertisements, games, photos, videos. You know, people stream on Facebook now. How often would you say you come across something that is just so controversial that you just don't want to see it again? Well, Facebook actually has an option for those so inclined to say, don't show me this again. And it won't show you that or material similar to it in the algorithm. This is a slippery slope and not the fallacy, because Facebook wants you to use its service for longer to generate ad revenue, to generate influence throughout the world, and for you to just continue to use it and give them minutes and give them more power and influence as a bargaining tool. And we may be aware that there was some censorship in social media last year. Well, according to Shannon Bond from NPR in 2020, Facebook was limiting distribution of the New York Post's main story while outside fact-checkers reviewed the claims, the spokesperson for Facebook, Andy Stone, said. That means that the platform algorithms won't place posts linking to the story very highly in people's feeds, reducing the number of people who see it. The New York Post is a 220-year-old newspaper. This isn't an individual user. This was a 220-year-old reliable news source that was censored. And this story was proven to be at least partially factual. Go on to the fact that they're continuing to limit the spread, quote unquote, of on Facebook of the New York Post's articles. I'll leave the topic of censorship for the government, though. I don't feel that we as individual users have that much say in this particular regard. However, as users, the best way that we can address and deal with these issues is to limit the time that we spend on Facebook a day and exercise self-control while using Facebook. According to Lindsay Holmes in an article from the Huffington Post in 2018, 30 minutes of Facebook a day is the magic number. And this is significant because the article goes on to say that the material it was pulled from shows evidence that reducing time on Facebook leads to less feelings of loneliness. It's almost the old adage, in a room full of people but still alone, applies to this social media giant. And exercising self-control while using as well as limiting this time that you're on it a day has shown to be correlated to you being less likely to become dependent on Facebook or develop a Facebook addiction. And according to, I'm going to butcher these names, Agata Blashnio and Aneta Trezpiarka in Psychiatric Quarterly, the study reveals a picture showing that those Facebook users who are able to resist an impulse or temptation are more self-disciplined and do not focus on negative emotions are less likely to develop Facebook addiction. So this is very significant because Facebook addiction and Facebook dependency are now very real things in the world of psychology. So just remember to reduce your time to 30 minutes per day and exercise self-control while using it. Try not to be driven by negative emotions or the way that articles may make you feel negatively, because it's been shown to lead towards these negative psychological side effects. So what happens if we are able to reduce our time on social media in the world? The biggest thing for me is I love to talk. So people that are younger than I am may not even be able to realize what a world without social media is like, but they seem to have less communicational skills, and it's just due to the simplicity of typing a message on a screen and not having to interact with another person. I really cherish the emotional interaction and the actual conversation. But the other thing that you can look and notice, and I notice this in my younger family, kids go outside and play less now. They just aren't as motivated to get outside and enjoy the real world the way that I did when I was a child, growing up, going fishing with my grandfather, digging holes, riding bikes. It's just not as much of a thing anymore for kids. And that leads me to probably the most troubling question is, when did our virtual reality overcome our actual reality? Because so many people spend so much more time plugged into, whether it's the computer, your phone, tablet, whatever, to be just tied to other people in the community, that you lose what actually is valuable in our real world. And I hope that through the evidence that I've shown you today, I have presented the negative side of Facebook, shown you how to manage it effectively, and hopefully, really I hope that I've improved your daily life. In conclusion, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Albert Einstein. "The measure of intelligence is the ability to change."